This agent got 180 leads, 15 appointments, and 7 secured clients in her pipeline within a single month of launching these ads without even having to call her own leads. What's crazy though is her first year in real estate, she only did 1 transaction. Her second year, she only did 3. But after 1 month of using this little known strategy, she's been able to exponentially increase her pipeline. So today, I'm gonna be sitting down with Alice so she can explain to you herself exactly how powerful this untapped strategy can be.
He was like, yeah, usually, because he doesn't know, I didn't explain that I have, it's my own ad. And I think he thought it was like I was getting them from like Realtor.com or Zillow. And he's like, yeah, usually, there's just like, 8 a month or 10 that they give you, or, 10, you get a certain percentage. And I said, well, we think we were like at 180 and he's like, what? And I said, yeah. And I said, and there's probably at least 15 that are, have been live transfers. But so he was pretty shocked, like, wait, like, what's going on over there? But
I got COVID, but I'm making my way to recovery.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, yeah. So,
All right. Well, I'll try to keep this brief then. Before we hop right in, I just want to ask you, like, are there any things, is there anything that you want to go over specifically, any issues or anything that have been happening, anything at all, essentially, that you want to touch on, specifically?
so I think I understand now. I guess before I wasn't sure of the timeline of how, the how are they being contacted, and like how it would kind of taper off, you know, like more calls in the beginning, then start to taper off till that 6 month mark. So which we still have tons of time, right? So that helps me understand too about engagement, and that there is that still going to be ongoing. I was thinking, because I kept thinking about that personal connection, of course, the building relationship piece to even get them to the point where they meet me, see me, that it's, that they talk to me. That's the piece that I wanted to try to incorporate without it interfering with what you guys are doing. But I didn't know if so that's something I thought about could be embedded, and it could be like a 30-second video that I can take, just it, I don't know. I don't know.
No. You are so right. I actually really love this strategy. We don't do it with most agents, and I'll be totally honest with you, it doesn't make a huge difference in like the numbers that we're generating, but it does make a difference in the quality of conversations that we can have with people. But the reason we don't do this with everyone is because not every agent feels really comfortable on camera. So it doesn't always work. So we've developed a system that doesn't require anything like that to come out on the agent's end. But what we can do is incorporate it into our like flow process. So after they click on the ad and submit their information, that video will pop up on like a landing page essentially. And then you can, have that play and kind of introduce yourself, that sort of thing, after we've already collected their information. And then, when our team starts reaching out to people and they reference you, because we hold the frame of like, hey, this is Alice's assistant. This is Marcus, Alice's assistant. That's our top ISA right now. He's crushing it. I think most of the live transfers that we've sent you have come from him. So, and they'll hold that frame of being your assistant, and then that way, the person on the other end, knows who they're talking about. They're like, oh yeah, I remember Alice. I watched that video of her. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about, just that personal touch. And I'm very comfortable on camera. I mean, that was part of my video strategy my Instagram video strategy. And so I have some ideas about just a short, simple, because I know people have short attention span too. With video, and so it has to be brief. It has to be just to have that connection, because I I think that that is again going to what it's going to help with is the quality, not necessarily the quantity, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so what is, do you, because I was talking to somebody and they, is there like a percentage that what you would call in terms of leads to live transfers, and then even to actually, converting, is there like percentage that you guys look at as a track, like a success when you go back and look at analyzing?
Yeah, yeah, there is. And I will tell you too, you know, the the rate of amount of leads that we're generating to live transfers is the one number in the entire process that tends to fluctuate the most because it's dependent on how many people are picking up the phone, which is the one, that's the one part of the equation, of any equation, that we're never going to be able to control. We can't control the amount of people that are going to answer the phone. We can adjust the times that we're calling and try, at lunch hours or, morning hours or after when most people get off work, and we do all of those. But even still, it tends to be kind of all over the place. So there's a few factors. First would be, what's our cost per lead? How much is it cost? How many leads? So basically, how many leads are we generating? Because we're spending $30 a day, so we know that's going to get us this many leads if this is our cost per lead. So when that number is really well, you tend to get more live transfers. And I will tell you right now, your campaign is doing amazing. It's doing really, really well. The cost per lead for those buyers is $3.81 right now. And if you wanted, I can pull up the charts and everything and show you kind of the breakdown of those conversions. But yeah, our cost per lead is super, super low. In the first month, we generated 191 leads, and you had a total of 16 live transfers, which is fantastic. We always try to shoot for around 10 every single month. And like I said, we can't really control that number because, the amount of, because we can't control whether or not people are going to pick up the phone. But if an agent is having a slower month and we're not getting that many answers with them, what we'll do is we'll do like a surge basically for that agent specifically, and we'll go back through and we'll call every single lead that we've had come in multiple times. We'll try double dialing, and we'll just put like a ton of extra effort into getting on the phone with as many people as possible for that agent specifically to try to get that number as close to 10 live transfers every single month. But you had 16 in the first month, which is an amazing first month. I'm really proud of those results, which brings me to my next question for you. How are they going? How many people are you actively communicating with and working with as of now?
So, I have them broken up into categories. I went old school and I started doing what I'm doing is, and I'm probably doing double work for myself, but it's just easier for me right now. So I print out, the and I'm digital, but I don't know, it's just helping me, I guess, keep just myself a little organized to have a physical copy because I like to circle, look at the things, look at them, get a feel of what, if I have a question about something in preparation
Mm-hmm.
with my call to them. And then I just have then I have notes, like my 1 o'clock ghosted. So I'll put a note, I'll go into actually the database and I'll make a note with the date so I can
Awesome.
constantly have the database
Awesome.
where I'm at, so I definitely do that. So um like I have two more appointments after this call. We'll see how that goes. But I have, so I have one seller where I've already met with her. We got a listing agreement. We're
That's
moving
great.
ahead.
What's the
So
what's
that
the
one.
what's the listing price on that seller?
So that one is going to be 229.
229. Great.
Yeah. And then I have another one who I connected with. We did a Google Meets and, went over the first time home buyers process. And then I recommended or gave some options for some lenders, and he's really thorough. But I did get a call from one of the lenders day before yesterday, and they had an appointment and they met and they went over numbers. And I guess my client was going to interview a couple more lenders because he's just really thorough. But it's good to see that he's actually taking the
Yeah.
steps to get approved.
Yeah, 100%. That'll
So
probably pan out too. Do you know what their budget is?
300,000,
300,
possibly more, maybe a little over
at least 300.
300.
Okay.
And then I have I have some follow-ups, like, maybe for February.
Sure. More like
Um,
nurture situations.
yeah, nurture. Like I have one and she didn't show up to the meeting, but she was responding on the text communication. So
Hmm.
even though I haven't connected, there was still engagement. She was
Okay.
still like, I have, the flu or whatever the case is. This was the second time. But she's engaging, so that's good. So I just, give them their space,
Of course.
take care of yourself. We'll reconnect.
Yeah.
Um, I have another one that came in.
Well, hold
He's
hold
an
up. Sorry
interesting,
to interrupt you there. That one though
yeah.
that you just mentioned, is she also a buyer?
Yes, first time home buyer.
First time home buyer.
This one, and it might be because they're also looking, I do notice the ones that are looking when their lease ends this year. So those are ones that maybe are just
Okay.
nurture because they're not ready. I have another one, their lease ends in August. They're first time home buyers. We had an appointment, but then they canceled. And he did share with me that he was, you know, um a little nervous in terms of being rushed into anything. So
Of
we had
course.
a conversation, and I, of course, told him that is absolutely not my style. What we're going to do is we're going to have a meet and greet, and we're going to go over what the home buying process looks like. I'm not going to show you listings and start inundating you. We're gonna take it.
Just make that
And he
personal
goes, oh,
connection first.
he's like, oh, so it's a meet and greet. So I'm noticing first time home buyers like that
That's
because they're
great.
very nervous about agents coming. So that could be part of my messaging.
Yeah, no, that's
Is
awesome.
that
And I appreciate getting that feedback too, because if that's something I can share with our other agents as well as an angle to kind of take with that too, I think a lot of people would
yes,
benefit
yes.
from that.
I have found that I feel that they I have found that it almost makes them go, oh, okay, thank you for that. Really, okay, wow,
Yeah.
because I'm going to educate them. I'm not trying to sell them something. So, I had a conversation with a buyer, but he's got tons of property in another city in New Mexico.
Hmm.
Um, and but he wants to buy a home here. He's not in a rush. He's got some properties that he wants to buy. So we had a long conversation, but
What's
you can tell William, what's the what?
I was just gonna say, what's like the timeline and budget on both of those?
It- he's one of those not in a rush.
Sure.
But this sounds like later this year, next year. Like he's like, I want to make my way. My daughter's here in
Hmm.
town. He
Yeah.
gave me his daughter's address, to see the area of what she likes. But he wants to sell, some property. So I was looking at connecting with another agent over there. So maybe I can do a referral. And so he's another one I got to kind of come back around and chat and say, okay, I looked at, your daughter's neighborhood, and I also looked up some of the properties that you showed me in your where you live, and I noticed there's an agent there, if you want to be able to, so I can get him moving on the selling of those properties
Hmm.
because it's completely out of my area. So, so I've got so that's another one. Again, the home buyer one that I was telling you about being nervous, um, that lease is up in August. He also will like my comments, or if we send a message before. That's how I knew there was
Mhm.
engagement, because especially when I said, it's a meet and greet. This is what it'll look like, and he loved it. He gave a heart, so that tells me something.
Yeah.
I do have a cash buyer right around 300,000 mark. He's a homeowner here, and I did verify and found his property in the county assessors. And he's in California, and he is getting heart surgery over there. So
Okay.
he has a very specific area. We talked on the phone. Um, he wants to circle back around maybe at the end of this month. Will touch base with him.
Awesome.
There's one particular property that he's super interested in, and it's been on the market. And so I told him, let me keep my eye out on it, take care of your health problems, and I'll keep an eye on that piece. And then when you're ready, and
Hmm.
I mean, I did let him know there's other things you can do. If I'm just letting you know, completely up to you if you want, there's a Tom fee. If you really love this property, and because he's old school too, he's not good with technology. So he doesn't probably realize we can do everything electronically. But
Hmm.
I let him know that. And so he's another one that I'll need to come back. I texted him the other day and let him know, hey, just checking in, wanted to let you know that property's still there. So we'll
Yeah.
we'll see in a couple weeks. I'll check in with you in a couple weeks. Um, and so those are like my warm leads.
Okay.
Um, and so let me think. Oh, there is another one. See, I got freaked out and I thought I was not going to be able to handle the volume coming in.
Hmm.
And so I kind of panicked one day because they were all kind of pouring in, and I called another. He does a lot of transaction coordinating work, and I gave him a live transfer for referral fee, and he did make contact with that buyer. And this was somebody who's just looking for an investment property for 200,000. It was actually an easy one that in retrospect, was like, oh, I should have kept that one. So they connected, and they're looking at properties
Well, that's
that
cool.
I'll have.
You 1 month in, and you already got the passive income rolling in for dishing out those deals. That's still pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So, so that's kind of where we are. I have them you know, identified. And so I have like I said, the different, once I get a live transfer in, I have them in another folder, like I said, and I have them, and then I can move them in the follow up later, or, you know, make an appointment, like get to where we could meet in person or on Zoom. So I
Yeah.
kind of am like labeling them as I get to know where they are. And so, yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun. I think the transaction coordinator I work with, he's a experienced realtor, does it full time.
Hmm.
And we're chatting, and he was like, yeah, usually, because he doesn't know. I didn't explain that I have, it's my own ad, and I think he thought it was like I was getting them from like Realtor.com or Zillow. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, usually, there's just like, 8 a month, or 10 that they give you, or 10, you get a certain percentage. And I said, well, we think we were like at 180, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. And I said, and there's probably at least 15 that have been live transfers. But so he was pretty shocked, like,
Yeah.
wait, like, what's going on over there? But he's, now that I got him, actually, so I changed my, my strategy. I'm like, I'm gonna just take on as much as I can, and I'm gonna just engage him as a TC
Hmm.
for now.
Yeah, I think that's the best
If
way to
I
go.
feel like because I need to make that connection, And of course, the ones that have completely ghosted, even though they're live transfers, they ghosted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that'll happen too every now and then. A small percentage is gonna tell us, like, because it's like we spoke, anyone where we're booking an appointment for you with, those are conversations that we've had, and they're like, yeah, I mean, I would like to have them give me a call back and talk about this stuff, the next details and stuff. But every now and then you're bound to get that person that is really just being nice, and they're like, yeah, I'll set an appointment to follow up, and then they just end up getting busy and distracted, and it doesn't really come around. So definitely, those people that we did pass off to you when we collected all their info, keep track of those, and we can put them into like a nurture, like drip campaign, essentially, where you're just kind of checking in on them. Hey, it's Alice, just touching base with you. I know you were in the market for a property a little while back. I wanted to check in, see if you found anything of interest.
Yeah, well,
Something like that.
I am putting notes in the system, so that way at least I have everything, because all my stuff will start to get scribbly, and
Yeah.
I just feel a little bit more organized, and it helps me remember um where they're at and who's who, and of course until I meet them in person, they're just kind of notes. But I really wanted to talk to you about, like I said, that little video, because I didn't know. But that sounds perfect. I'd love to do even, no more than 30 seconds. Maybe
hmm
if I can even keep it at 15 seconds. I think shorter is probably better. But just so that way I can work on, a meet and greet video.
Yeah.
But if you can let the team know that for first time home buyers, to, like I said, to reassure them that it is, a meet and greet to go over the home buying process, because
Yeah.
that's what I see the trend is. They've had situations where people just start inundating them with listings,
hmm
and I don't even send listings unless I mean, I just don't do that. I mean, that's not what I do right off the bat. I mean, probably don't even do it until I start, they've already gotten to the step where they get to the bank. Except I do have one. He specifically did ask me. I called him today because we were going to have a meet and greet on Saturday.
Okay.
He's at the 200,000 mark. Um, And so a little lower, but that's okay. There's some options because he's said he's not picky on the area.
hmm
But since I got sick, I told him I'd reschedule, and he was one that's not necessarily in a hurry, but he picked up the phone. He's already picked up the phone twice, but he specifically did ask me to send him listings so he can just start getting an idea.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did that this morning, but I'm gonna circle back with them in a couple weeks. We're gonna reschedule because I'm going on vacation next Thursday.
Right. Yes, next Thursday. That is is that the 7th?
The 8th,
The 8th? Are you
8th,
wanting
9th,
to
10th, 11th, 12th.
Okay, 8th through the 12th. Are you wanting to pause your campaign or like kind of pause those live transfers, or are you still wanting to take those calls?
I mean, all of them have been booked except for two phone calls where
Okay,
they actually came in live.
sure.
It's the majority has been
So
booked on
we'll
my
just
calendar.
would you like us to try to book
Yeah.
beyond that? If it's during that
Yes.
time, keep it outside of it after the 12th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. After the 13th.
Okay.
Just so because I'm getting home late on the 12th, and I don't want to probably have any appointments on the 13th.
Okay.
Um, well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, so the other thing I think, well, what I wanted to know is, so right now it's all phone calls. Is there texts or emails going out?
Absolutely. Quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do
that's
those look like?
my. Are you seeing my camera keep getting like blurry every couple seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
wondering.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's going on there. But
Yeah, I do
yeah, I
see that.
can definitely share that with you. That's how we get in touch with a lot of these people, because I mean, you know, when you run ads, not many people pick up the phone. I'm sure well, as a realtor, I think every agent should pick up the phone no matter what, every time it rings. But like, most people don't pick up calls from strangers, so we're texting them and emailing them alongside making those calls as well. And we get a lot of people responding. And again, they're super human, text messages that are really more just like same thing. It's like, hey, this is Alice's assistant, just checking in on you. I don't know if you remember, but you clicked on so and so a
Yeah.
while back. Same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
let me show you
Yeah, and
what
I
that looks
normally
like.
say, talk to one of my team members. That's usually what I say.
Hmm.
Um,
Can you see this all right?
mhm.
Awesome. So when the leads come in, now this is like very similar to what we do inside your own account, but it's just happening a little bit differently inside the ISA's account. So over here, so it's like, rather than saying this is Alice, this is, so and so, Alice's assistant and stuff. So they're broken up a little bit, but essentially they're going to come in. The ISA team has 1 hour to get in contact with them via phone call before we start texting them and emailing them. So after that first hour, we're going to send them a message with the lead's name and say, hey, this is Alice's assistant over at Roland Real Estate. Just saw you inquired about that list of homes on Facebook. Were you able to access it all right? We get a ton of people responsive to there, and then at that point, we'll just call them up and be like, hey, yeah, I mean, we'd love to even, help you get a little bit more of a personalized search going too. So why don't we get you connected to Alice, and she'll be able to kind of talk through what your options are from there. And then,
Okay.
we're alongside, we're emailing them. Then we'll wait like a day to see if they respond. If they do respond, then the ISA will hop into that conversation and take over from there. But if they don't respond, then it'll wait until like business hours. We don't want to be texting them in the middle of the night or anything, so it'll wait until, I believe, like 9 a.m. before it sends them the next message. We get a ton of people, a ton of like lead confirmation on this one. So we'll just say, hey, is this name? And that's a great way to get people engaging too. Send them another email, and then it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. And this happens nonstop for about the whole first month. Not every single day. It'll space it out a little bit more as time goes by. But see, you can see here now it's wait 2 days to see if an appointment is booked or if they respond. And then, and then the next message, again, super casual, super, human. Hey, didn't get a chance to hear from you yesterday. Did someone from my team reach out? Please call me when it's convenient for you. Just want to make sure you're taken care of.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that's super helpful, because I know my mind kept going back to that. But when you said it, I'm like, okay, I don't need to worry about that. I need to worry about just having systems as the flow comes in. I'm like, that's what I need. That's what I need to focus on.
Yeah.
Systems is to making the after part flow. So, other than the transaction coordinator, I'm open to what you've seen out there too, or suggestions on, because I'm looking this as a business, more than just being self-employed.
100%. Yeah, honestly, I am super excited for you. I think you're utilizing the system in the best way possible. And that's why, you're seeing the success that you are. But yeah, that's really, really great. It sounds like you've got quite a bit in the pipeline. So, just to recap, you've got a listing already. at $230,000. Is that a full 6%?
Yes.
Amazing. Awesome. Great. And then you've got another buyer that you're working with, upwards of 300. And then you've got, you said it was about, was it like 4 that are kind of in the pipeline moving along, but they're still a few months out?
Yes.
But you're in contact with them and likely will be working with them, when it just meets their time frame.
Well, some of them we're going to do a meet and greet. Like one of them, he's in, like I said, he's having his heart stuff. And
Yeah.
that will be probably, he said he wanted to be back in Cruces by the end of February.
Okay. Great.
But I can tell he's old school. And well, he told me I'm not good at technology. So
Yeah. And that was the cash buyer, right?
Cash
Great.
buyer, yeah.
Great. And then you already passed off a referral to another
Correct.
agent as well.
Yes.
Which is awesome. You said that one was around the 200 mark?
Yes.
Great. Very cool. Well, It sounds like you've got quite a bit of business in the pipeline, staying busy. So,
Yeah, and that I have a couple of other ones, but those are just from my sphere.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're going to have a great year.
Yes, I am, because I want to quit my job.
Yeah, absolutely. When was it that you got into real estate? Remind me, because you're still pretty new, right?
Yeah, I'm in my 3rd year, and I've only had, well, the first year I had one transaction, and it was my daughter, and I was the non-occupying co-borrower, and it was a friend of mine's listing. So, that was my first year, and I didn't do a whole lot because my father had passed. So
Gotcha.
I was just, and I was focused on health and wellness. So, and then last year, I think I had 3. Yeah, I had 3 last year, but I focused just on my video strategy and, so yeah, I mean, fairly new to real estate, but not to business.
So
Not
first,
to that thinking.
yeah, no, absolutely. And I can tell too, it shows in the way that you're operating with this as well. So first year, 1 deal, second year, 3 deals, and this year, I mean, do you have a goal in mind, a number that you'd like to hit?
Yes. Well, I want 1 per month, 1 closing per month, but by July, I'd like 3. My goal is to have 3 always under contract.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
whether we
great.
close or not.
That's great. And it sounds like in just the first month alone, you've got a few deals that are, bound to close in the near future. And
I did close 1 in January from my, I closed 2 in January from my sphere. And then this one that I'm writing now, so that'll put me under contract for here. And then now all these other leads coming through will get me. Yeah, my goal was, like I said, 1 per month until July, because I was thinking of transitioning then, but I think I'm working to see if I can get out in 2 months.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're doing great. It sounds like you're probably more on track to be doing like 4 or 5 every single month as soon as soon as everything gets under contract and starts, gets that closing date set on that.
I mean, I think it's always, like I said, I always love young entrepreneurs. I think sometimes older people too, especially people who've been in the business a long time, they think of it one way. So it's hard for them to change their mindset about, okay, this is the only way. And I'm like, this can't be the only way, because I see myself burnt out trying to, before even like what you described in your story. I could see that already a mile away. And I was like, this can't be it.
Yeah, I know. I'm totally with you there. I saw the same exact thing, when I was working full time as an agent. I was like, if I stay on this track, even if I do get to the point where I'm making, pretty good money and I'm doing a lot of deals, I'm not going to have like the time to like have my own life. It's like I'm going to be stuck in the office making phone calls for 4 or 5 hours a day in order to maintain those deals. So Yeah, planning.
Yeah.
I mean, planning ahead and having a good strategy, and systems to leverage as you're kicking off, your reputation in the business and everything. Because I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, all my business comes from referrals and repeat deals when you've been in real estate for 25 years and you've kind of paid your dues as far as, putting your time in so that all of those start coming back to you. But in the beginning,
Mhm.
you know, the way that you're going about it is absolutely the smoothest and smartest way to kick off your business.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited to for when we get to the point where somebody's like, "What the heck is that agent doing over
Yeah,
there? Like, what's going on?" When I, become a capper way before anticipated, and they're just like,
yeah,
"Wait a minute, everybody's like slow right now,"
yeah,
you know, and I'm over here closing and getting all these leads, and so that's really exciting.
yeah, yeah. I'm happy for you. Awesome. Well, I know you're feeling a little
Thank
under the
you.
weather, so I'll let you get back to your day. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we hop off here?
Um, no, I think I'm gonna go ahead and work on a really short video, and then I can, once I'm better, I may even do it when I'm in Cancun.
Okay.
So that's nice background
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah, that'll be
and
great.
that'll be eye-catching. So that'll give me time for my voice and me not have any congestion. So yeah, that sounds great. Let me see. I did have a question because I had an appointment booked at 2, but I see somebody said I'm still at work. But I guess they're the ones who choose the time, right?
So, yeah, they are. They would have, spoken about that time. They would have said, yeah, around 2 or whatever with
That's fine. I'll go ahead and just message her back.
okay. Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
if you
No,
need us to
that,
reach out to her too, let us know and we'll give her a call as well.
okay, sounds good.
Well,
Thank
great.
you.
I've got one more question for you. I'd love to just get a little bit of feedback so far, as far as like communication on our end and just overall, what your thoughts are on our system, the service, and everything.
I mean, everything's been I mean, flowing pretty. It's been easy to, I mean, you're very responsive when I have questions, via email, and I'm good with that. I'm not the type of person that I need a phone call or Zoom all the time.
Hmm.
So as long as sometimes I can get answers via email, that's been super helpful to me because questions came up after the fact.
Yeah.
I start thinking, do I need to nurture anything? Because I had no idea that that's what it looked like.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's been super helpful. Like I said, yeah, I've had 2 live transfers where I've actually had the phone conversation. And one of them is that actual one that is where I'm picking up that listing, and I have some other potential buyers in my sphere that I might be able to bring the buyer to them. That's
That's
kind of
great.
cool. That's exciting.
Yeah,
That'll be
worth
the
the
full
whole.
6.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it just puts me I just feel it's a great system because I don't have to worry about analyzing leads. I just don't have to worry about anything but showing up and following up. And like I said, it's the first phase. I mean, the system is easy to use in terms of entry notes. I mean, it's really for right now, that's the majority of what I'm using it.
Hmm.
I'll dive if there's anything too that you think I kind of need to dive into a little bit more, or tools. But right now it's just keeping track with the notes, which it's super easy to use versus command. I mean, command is literally just for my opportunities because I have to in order to get paid.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a good flow that is working. And that's why I said if you know of any other systems that other realtors may use, because I want this to be, like I say, that business, that flow where I just get to the point where I can just show up. So I
Hmm.
started thinking, I don't know if I need a virtual assistant. I don't know what other people do that, are having a success
Hmm.
with their business and utilizing the system. Is it, do you know?
Like which part specifically? Like if other people are using anything in addition?
Yeah, like afterwards, like once you get to where it's a live transfer and, are there people who have virtual assistants where they will do like, um, like notes in the system, or they're doing all that notes in the system? Is that, and then, or is it like I said, I now have a transaction coordinator that I'm just getting on board,
Yeah.
like, and so maybe that's that piece where I can be able at some point where I show up, I'm able to, show up, show listings, make that, get an under contract,
Hmm.
and then have that. See, I don't know. I don't know if there's other systems that I should look at in terms of, and when I say systems, I mean beyond the CRM,
Hmm.
like the
Yeah.
after piece.
Yeah, there's one that does come to mind that might be useful to you depending on how you go about those meet and greets. Are you guys usually on Zoom or do you meet with them in person?
Both,
Okay.
both.
Well, I will tell you, if you're doing those conversations on Zoom, this you can see in this Zoom room right now. There's Asa's Fathom Note Taker. This is a really cool software that me and my team have been using. And basically, I can actually send this to you afterwards, but it records the conversation and it records the transcript and everything, and it breaks it down into like points and everything, different pieces of the conversation, and it basically just takes notes of the entire thing for you, and it'll say like, okay, this is what they talked. This is how the intro of the call went. This is like the main idea. This is like the action steps that you're going to be having with that person, so that you don't have to like be taking notes with like a pen and pencil every time. Essentially, it's like you go back, you look at your Fathom, notes from that call, and it'll say like, okay, we're going to be setting up a buyer search under this criteria for this person, going to be touching base again on this date to go over whatever you spoke about, and it does a really really great job at kind of formulating how all of
Oh,
your calls
awesome.
go. So if you want to check that one out, it's free too. um and yeah,
It
it's been
is.
working really great for
And
us.
it incorporates with Zoom. Does it incorporate with Google Meets?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, I use ChatGTP with just other little things I'm needed, or Canva has Magic Write,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and
with AI.
I'll send you the notes from this call actually, so you can see like it'll break down what we talked about. It'll probably break up like what your successes have been, what you want to keep working on.
Really?
It's super cool. It's awesome. So yeah, I'll send that over to you so
Yeah,
you can take a look.
send me that. That's probably because that would allow me to be just completely engaged.
Mhm.
Eye contact,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
And then
send it to me.
what you can do from there, after your calls is just copy all of the notes, like the main summary notes, and then just copy paste that right into the CRM, under the notes section, so you don't have to like, you know,
Go back in.
write them all
Yes.
yourself. Or you could even put the link to the call too, to of the like the recording in there too, so that anytime you want to see like what you talked about on that day, you just go into the notes, click the link, and it'll pull up the recording with all of the notes and breakdown and bullet points and everything.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was wondering what that bottom, yeah, but that it
Yeah.
says for note-taking purposes.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Alice, well, it was great chatting with you again. I hope you feel better and have fun in Cancun.
Yes. Yes, I sure will. Beach
All right.
therapy.
All right, let me know if
All
you need
right. Bye.
anything. Take care.